Now, a Target 12 investigators exclusive, sniffing out cybercrime.
The Rhode Island State Police have a new tool in combating the most heinous crimes when pedophiles use storage devices like hard drives to store child pornography. This canine can find them in bags, under floorboards, and even in the woods. And data shows Rhode Island has a higher percentage of federal child pornography criminal cases than the national average.
Target 12 investigator Tolly Taylor joins us now with the exclusive details.
Some police canines can find drugs or even bombs, but Birdie's skill set is different, zeroing in on trace amounts of a chemical compound, ultimately helping detectives lock up child predators.
Seek. Seek.
When Birdie smells it, her butt goes down and her head pops up, signaling to her handler, Rhode Island State Police Detective Brent Wilkes, that she's found something.
Good girl. Good girl, Bird.
After extensive training, Birdie knows she gets a treat whenever she finds hidden technology like tablets, hard drives, or in this case...
Is your phone?
My cell phone.
She's a regular dog day to day until it's time to go to work, and then she knows what her mission is.
What she smells is TPPO, a chemical compound found on all electronic storage devices.
Come on, Bird.
After Wilkes and other members of the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force searched the home of a suspected child predator in Rhode Island,
Birdie will come in and do a follow-up search for anything that we may have missed, or if we have a suspect saying that they lost their phone, we'll find it for you.
Even things like this thumb drive.
Hup, seek.
Hidden in unusual locations.
Good girl, Bird. We could find things that are as small as a micro SD card that's the size of your thumbnail. Bird, show me. Show me where it is. Good girl.
Right now, Birdie's the only canine in the state with this special skill set, and unfortunately, she'll be plenty busy. Wilkes says the task force receives more than 1,200 tips about child exploitation each year.
We execute numerous search warrants, between 2 and 3 every week.
In the task force's Warwick office, clumps of red dominate a Rhode Island map, painting a grim picture.
And the red push pins indicate places where we've made arrests regarding child exploitation.
A Target 12 review of local child pornography cases in Rhode Island shows 38 defendants have been convicted in federal cases since 2019. U.S. Sentencing Commission data shows Rhode Island has a higher rate of child pornography cases than in most other states.
I think it certainly is a testament to the aggressive and effective law enforcement response that we have here in the Ocean State.
Earlier this year, Rhode Island U.S. Attorney Zachary Cunha called the work the task force does superb.
They're hard cases, but they're important cases to do.
Wilkes agrees and points out that Birdie will be available to help more than just the state police.
The state police is available, as always, to assist local and federal authorities in any of their investigations.
Today marks 2 months since Birdie first joined the task force. Coming up at 6, how a dog like Birdie played a crucial role in a high-profile criminal case that gained national attention. With the Target 12 investigators, I'm Tolly Taylor, 12 News.
Now a Target 12 investigators exclusive, sniffing out cybercrime.
You've heard of police canines that can detect drugs, bombs, even bodies. But as we reported first at 5, new Rhode Island State Police canine Birdie has a very different set of skills to help police catch those who commit the most heinous crimes.
New at 6, we get a closer look at how this specialized canine was trained. Target 12 investigator Tolly Taylor joins us now with the exclusive details.
Birdie joins dozens of police canines across the country that can find things like hard drives where predators store child pornography. Dennis Clark, who is one of the first to train dogs for this, says canines like Birdie can cost more than 10 grand and take months to train. Rhode Island State Police canine Birdie is specifically trained to smell a chemical compound found on all electronic devices that store memory, like this thumb drive. She's now spent 2 months with the state police's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, going into homes when state police obtain search warrants.
So in the short time that she's been certified, she's involved in several cases. All those investigations are ongoing at the time.
And it wasn't easy to get the job.
The standards are pretty high. She is allowed 0 falses and only 1 miss when she takes her final exams for certification.
State Police Detective Brent Wilkes is Birdie's handler.
And she had 0 misses and 0 falses. She graduated 100%.
Birdie lives with Wilkes, who says Birdie's training revolves around food to keep her sharp and motivated.
Birdie never eats out of a bowl. I feed her directly out of my hand only when we're training, so I have to train her every day, at least twice a day. You ready? You want to go to work?
Police canines with Birdie's unique skill set were thrust into the national spotlight in 2015 when the FBI raided the home of Subway pitchman Jared Fogle, who was eventually sentenced to 15 years in prison for possession or distribution of child pornography. News reports say this canine named Bear was vital that day, finding a hidden thumb drive that investigators missed in the search of his home.
I've probably trained and sold to police departments and military, around $200 or $300.
Retired Louisville police officer Dennis Clark helped train and certify Bear, who he says was one of only a handful of dogs nationwide with this skill set in 2015.
And at that time, it was just mostly drug dogs and bomb dogs for Afghanistan and Iraq.
Clark says he looks for a very specific set of qualities before training canines like Bear or Birdie.
But the electronics emit very, very little odor. It takes a dog with a really good nose.
Clark says that while drugs or bombs have stronger odors and tend to come in larger quantities, Birdie has to find objects the size of your fingernail.
Electronic dog, it'll take about 3 months to train. Most testing says they have to be within 12 to 14 inches of it to alert on it.
Clark says drug dogs will sell for $5,000 to $10,000 and bomb canines will go for $7,000 to $10,000. A spokesperson for the Rhode Island State Police says Birdie cost $11,000. With the Target 12 investigators, I'm Tolly Taylor, 12 News.